Today I am going to review a language learning series that Passport Books produced in the mid-1980s through the early 1990s and then re-released in 1999 with CD editions. There are 3 or 4 different levels in this series, and the first one is called Just Listen and Learn, and it's marketed as the basic course for succeeding in a language and communicating with confidence. And these courses are available for 10 different languages, I believe, for French, German, Spanish, Italian, also for Greek and Russian, Arabic, Chinese, Japanese. I think that's it. And these courses remind me, frankly, more of the typical college textbook approach than most of the other self-teaching manuals that I've reviewed and tend to prefer. But these are also self-teaching manuals that come with an answer key at the end of every chapter. And they are structured this way. They give you basic dialogues that are very colloquial, recorded with a great number of speakers in the country. And then you get keywords and phrases, practice what you've learned, grammar integrated like everything else, reading and understanding. Did you know? Your turn to speak, and then the answer key. And so let me just leaf through it, and you'll see that in these manuals you get what I call a smorgasbord approach, a great deal of different things on any given page, lots of illustrations and photos and maps and charts. You do get with this course an incredible amount of information about the sort of everyday life in the land of where the language is being spoken, the culture, how to live there. That's what they do. They take you and make you feel like you're going over there, living there, running around, doing all the things that you might have to do in the country. And so as I leaf through it there, you see it. You get what I call the smorgasbord approach again, and frankly speaking, it makes me a little bit panicky to see all these different things on a page, but I think that if you should be out there as an alternative for somebody who likes this kind of approach. You get, by the end of these basic levels here, let me find the last lesson, takes you about to this level of conversation. You do get some stories and the like that you'll be told, history, but the final dialogue is still relatively simple. You're at about the level of something like this, talking about your future plans. Somebody says, what kind of plans do you have for the future? And she says, I have a contract until July of next year in this city, so I'll work until then. And what about after that? Well, that's still uncertain. Maybe I'll do some freelance work, and maybe, on the other hand, I'll do something totally different. Maybe we'll think about having kids, won't we? And her boyfriend says, yes. So that's the level that you would get up to with this Listen and Learn, and then you can move with French, German, Spanish, and Italian to Listen and Learn Plus, which has the exact same outline, except that in this Plus series they add live radio dialogues, and this takes you quite a bit further. With the recordings that come with each of these levels, you get 3 hours of recording, and there's actually, compared to some of, say, the Teach Yourself or colloquial series, you get a lot more of the target language. There is English on the tapes, but it's not sort of chatty and sort of useless like on some of the other courses. So is sort of to the point and giving you summaries of what's going on, or and walking you through the exercises. So actually you do get a fair amount of recording in the target language with these that you can use. The final dialogue of this course is you would get with the Listen and Learn Plus level, is something along this level. It's a discussion about pros and cons about technology. One person says, I think that we have already too many technological innovations. We've gone too far, and we don't know how to use what we have. And the other person says, I can't really agree with you. There are a lot of fields, I think, where we could really use some new technological innovations. For example, what about energy production? We really need to go about more rationally and economically with energy production, for example, solar energy and like fields. So we really need to do more research there. And she chimes in and says, solar energy, yeah, okay, well, you're right. I give in. That's a good point. But that's really a very specialized field. And somebody else says, I've also given a lot of thought to it. I've thought a lot that we really need to restructure our whole way of our transportation system. I mean, we need to put more stress or emphasis on using public transportation and a lot less on using private cars. So that's about the level that you would get to with this plus level. It's hard for me to get terribly excited about this level, but the next level, and the reason I say there are 2 or 3, is you go then from listen and learn to practice and improve, and then they have practice and improve plus. And I really don't see that there's any difference at all in the levels of these 2 courses. The introduction says that just the practice and improve goes over the grammar more basically, but these are different from the others. These give you, in the first place, they give you 4 hours of recording. That's really quite nicely done. There's no English on the tapes anymore. You do get a guide who has I think he's actually a native speaker pretending to be a foreigner, putting on a light accent and speaking at a slower pace. But these are recorded sort of as radio dramas or melodramas. These are connected stories of sort of young person's everyday life. The story for this one, Practice and Improve Your Italian, has some guy gets transferred to Switzerland without knowing how or why, and he goes and he gets a new boss and he falls in love with her, and he moves around, and the reason he got transferred is his secretary is in love with him, and she sent him along, and then he tries to go to Brazil, and so on and so forth, and they're in publications or marketing. No, they design transportation systems. And in the Practice and Improve Your Italian Plus, we're just looking at the listening guides, which give you the complete thing. So you see 200 pages of pure Italian. Here, you got a young lady, and her roommate's boyfriend is from Brazil, and he gets his stipend cut off, so she gets all excited about helping South American students come study in Italy, but some of them turn out to be political extremists, and then she has to get a rock concert to finance the whole thing. And so in the handbooks that come with these guides, you never get a translation, but you get a summary of what's going on, and then you get the vocabulary and everything that you need here. And the introduction to this level talks about the importance of taking a relaxed approach and not being too focused, but just listening a lot to it. And again, these are very listenable. These are very well recorded by actresses and actors, and they're, as I said, they're melodramatic stories that can really catch your attention and make you listen through them a number of times. There's a lot of sort of music, or rather muzak, that's kind of got a spiffy beat that can also really helps the learning process. And in a way, I guess they've got the psychology there figured out. You get, on the 4 hours of recording, I would say you get a good 3.5 hours of pure, in this case, Italian speech, and then the music comes in, and when your attention is flagging, it brings you back to the case in point. So I can get excited about these practice and improve levels a lot more than the listen and learn levels. And actually, when I was, before I became obsessed with learning languages, when it was more of a controlled hobby, when these things were just coming out, what I did back in Chicago in the early 1990s is I checked these out and I listened as I ran along the lake. And I think that they're perfect for that kind of learning. So you might want to consider these. Passport